Good evening and welcome, everyone. Today is March 13th. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ferris?
Here.
Mrs. Sheck?
Here.
Mr. Mack?
Here.
Mr. Postal?
Here.
Mrs. Zerke?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the special recognition of our Berea Titans. Mr. Draggs will MC the event.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to see everyone this evening. Welcome to our second Be a Titan ceremony of our 22-23 school year. The Be a Titan ceremony started because we have so many great things going on in our school district, and we wanted to take time with our school board present to be able to recognize those individuals that epitomize and encapsulate what it truly means to be a Titan. So tonight, our building principals have been asked to recognize students, staff, and community members who helped make their building what it is and illustrate those characteristics that we want to see in our students. I'm going to call up Dr. Smithberger here in a second, and he'll come up, and what he's going to do is introduce everyone from his building who is getting a Be a Titan award, and then he'll go through those one by one. After you've received your award, go over in front of the Titans sign over there and get your picture taken so we have it for the future. This evening, Dr. Smithberger, if you could come forward and introduce Berea Mid-Park High School's awards. Thank you.
Good evening. It's such an honor to be here and to recognize the outstanding students. We have a BMHS. If they could come forward now. Romel Wheat, Brett Becker, Kendall Broughton, Andrew Welsh, Isabel Bagliere, and Dimitri Emerkov. I know a couple of them can't be here tonight, so come on forward, please. So I'm going to read about all the students and why they were recognized. This evening, those who couldn't be here. Romel Wheat. Romel shows us what it means to be a Titan every day by being respectful, responsible, and safe. He is the first to greet staff he sees with a smile and friendly hello, and is always willing to communicate if and when there is an issue. Romel's constant leadership shows when as you see him encouraging his peers, and is great to students and friends to others. You will see him cheering on his classmates throughout the school day and making them make great choices. Romel's great decisions show he wants what's best for everyone around him. Congratulations, Romel. Brett Becker, Kendall Broughton, and Andrew Walsh. All three are National Merit Commended students. To be a National Merit Commended student, you have to take the PSAT your junior year, and you get that recognition your senior year. All three scored in the top 3% of the entire country. There are 50,000 National Merit recognized students, and 34,000 of them are commended. That means they scored in the top 50,000 of approximately 1.3 million test takers. So that's kind of a big deal. Yes. So congrats to them. And Bella and Dimitri are National Merit finalists. So they start with 50,000 students, and then they have about 16 semifinalists, and they have 15,000 students in the country that become finalists. So out of 1.3 million, this is the top 15,000 here that represent as finalists. So Isabella and Dimitri are the top 1% of the country on the PSAT score, and they have to back that up with 7 other criteria, including SAT score, GPA, write an essay, etc. So this is truly an outstanding accomplishment. By having 2 national merit finalists in your building, that puts us in the top 10% of the entire state of every high school in the state. So most high schools get 0 for a year. We have 2. So it's a really big deal. So congratulations, Bella. And Dimitri. Again, thank you for letting us recognize our high school students here this evening. We really appreciate it. And congrats to our student nominees this time. Well done. Next up, middle school principal, Mr. Tim Vallata.
Good evening, everybody. If I could have Mackenzie Bachman, Logan Mahalik, Shannon Langendorfer, Christy Thompson, and Lori Hurst. Come on up. We have one other nominee, Danica Patel, is not able to join us today, so while they're making their way to the stage, I will read Danica's nomination. Danica is a self-motivated and kind individual that goes above and beyond to treat not only her peers and classmates with respect, but also the staff members at BMMS, no matter their title. She is a trustworthy student and person. She is constantly self-motivated, even in challenging situations. Danica is an organized go-getter who will make big, positive waves, not only in the Berea City School District, but in the world. So again, she's not able to be here tonight, but we recognize Danica. Mackenzie Bachman. Her teachers wrote that Mackenzie is always on task in class. She constantly is willing to share answers and discuss what we are working on. She is kind to her peers, always participates, and is always willing to help. Just today, her teacher shared with me that Mackenzie is becoming involved in the life of the school by joining the Girls on the Run Club. So congratulations, Mackenzie. Logan's team writes, Team 6A would like to nominate Logan Mahalik. Logan is a student willing to try any challenge that comes his way. He consistently excels in the classroom, always producing quality work in every class. He is kind and supportive of his classmates, showing respect to all staff. He is an admiral and has an admirable growth mindset. His honest and trustworthy demeanor is not only evident in the classroom, but continues in all of his activities. Logan loves playing sports. He's on a travel baseball team that practices all year and a local basketball team. He enjoys playing or learning to play all sports. He is respectful, responsible, and safe. He is an outstanding Titan. So Logan Mahalik. Shannon was nominated by our team as a student who exemplifies perseverance and commitment to her academics. She is self-motivated and takes initiative as a leader in the classroom and organization she participates in. Shannon is adept at working independently, with a partner, or in a group. She is confident, and her confidence comes through in her ability to adapt to various situations, both academically and personally. So congratulations to Shannon. And nominated by her peers across the building is Miss Christy Thompson. She embraces a growth mindset, owns her choices, kind to self and to others. She honors our heritage and celebrates new traditions and supports and serves others. The staff members wrote, Christy is a staff member who has always inspired me to be at my best. She is unafraid to give her students ownership of their learning. When student interest takes the class in a certain direction, she follows that interest to keep her kids engaged. Her class does not look the same from year to year, and she truly tries to teach the standards, understanding that each and every new year and new kids will be in front of her with new needs. She takes part in countless workshops and seminars to see how she can best perfect her craft as an ELA teacher. She's a leader in our building and works to make sure her colleagues can feel successful and supported. Christy never gives up on kids. She encourages and she guides the students to make sure they are treated in a way that maintains their dignity, even in difficult situations. She celebrates the small victories with them, knowing that she is planting seeds that will bear fruit in the future. Christy inspires students and staff to be the best versions of themselves. She is a Titan. And finally, the 6th grade team has nominated Miss Lori Hurst. She accepts challenges. Lori goes above and beyond on a daily basis. She records a daily inspirational video for all 6th grade students. Lori has students email photos and videos of their pets. On Fridays, the students look forward to her videos where she spotlights the students' pets in her Funny Pet Friday videos. She is present in the cafeteria and the 6th grade hallways. She has organized a 6th grade ed camp. The camp empowers students to lead a group of peers in a topic that they have an interest in. Students enjoyed it so much that they want to have another kid ed camp in the spring. She comes out to Camp Mybrobe each week and engages in the activities with the students. Lori meets with the 6th grade teachers on a weekly basis to check in and share information. She has built a positive rapport with the 6th grade staff and the 6th grade students. Lori demonstrates on a daily basis what it means to be a Titan. So congratulations. We'd now like to introduce Ms. Terry Grimm from Grantstone.
Good evening. Miss Lazarus, would you like to come up and join me? And I know she just got here, didn't mean to put her on the spot, but we are a team, so we do this together. So, I was watching for you. I'm glad you made it. So we're here tonight to recognize, we have some parents, students, and staff. So when I call your name, please come forward. Jamie and Richard Clark, Ava Manning, Anna Poston, Lisa Hess, and Valine Singler. Ashlyn Mahosnick, Officer Dave Camerman, and Lainey Fowler. So Jamie, Richard, Ava, Anna, Lisa, and Valine were all nominated by Mrs. Klingon, who wishes she could be here this evening, but she is also homesick. But what Mrs. Klingon has stated is that these amazing parents come into our classroom every week and help support the students. They work with them during our class station times. The students really look forward to when they come. They help with them with writing, reading, and phonics. I absolutely love working with each of them, and it shows the students how we can all help each other. This really brings a sense of community in our daily routine. I cannot thank each of you enough for your efforts and time that you are donating to help the students grow, not only in 2nd grade, but in life. Your efforts will never go unnoticed. You have all set a great example for our children. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. So thank you.
right, so this one is for Aslyn. So let's see, she accepts challenges, embraces a growth mindset, honest and trustworthy, kind to self and others, creates a sense of belonging and safety, supports and serves others. Aslyn is the definition of a Titan. She is hardworking, a positive student every day. She comes to school ready to learn and take on any challenge. Aslyn's positive attitude is infectious, and she becomes a leader in any situation without even trying. Aslyn's superpower is her empathy for everyone. She is respectful and aware of everyone's feelings and needs. She is always ready to help her peers or a staff member in need. She works hard every day to be her very best self in her schoolwork and as a person. Congratulations, Aslyn. You are in every sense of what it means to be a Titan, and we are all so proud of you.
Thank you, Ashlyn, and congratulations. Next up is Lainey Fowler. So Lainey Fowler was nominated by her classroom teacher, Mrs. Muha. She writes that Lainey Fowler is a kind-hearted, respectful, amazing third grader who comes to school every day with a smile on her face and has a heart of gold. Lainey goes above and beyond to show kindness to others. In our classroom, we have a student who has been facing some challenges. Lainey assists that student each and every day. The kindness Lainey has shown her is just beautiful. She works hard daily to be her very best self in school and as a person. Lainey is a true example of a Titan, and I am honored to be her teacher. Thank you, Lainey, for letting me be part of your story. Congratulations. You are in every sense of the word what it means to be a Titan, and we are all very proud of you.
Officer Dave Cameraman. Officer Dave embraces that growth mindset, honest and trustworthy, kind to self and others, creates a sense of belonging, safety, and supports and serves others. Officer Dave is a wonderful role model for our Grindstone Titans. He is kind, caring, and shows compassion to all students and staff. Officer Dave brings joy to our days by living in the moment and bringing his best self to each school day. You can find Officer Dave throughout in and out of the halls and classrooms at Grindstone. He enjoys going to recess and engaging our students in kickball and football games. Officer Dave reinforces the expectations on what it means to be a Titan in all our students. Be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. He is often featured on our morning announcements with a positive message and learning videos, as he's really good at matching up all of the letters and letter sounds together. A is for apple. In addition to making us smile, Officer Dave works hard to keep us safe. He has done a terrific job in leading staff and students in run, hide, fight, and does not shy away from offering advice to make improvements around Grindstone when it comes to our safety. Thank you, Officer Dave, for all you do for the staff and students of Grindstone Elementary. It is an honor and a pleasure to work with you every day. Thanks for showing us what it means to be a Titan each and every day. Congratulations, Officer Dave.
Next, I'd like to invite Tracy Schneid, principal from Brook Park Elementary.
All right, good evening. We have a lot of friends to nominate and talk about tonight, and I'm so excited. Zoe Gonzalez, come on up, Zoe. Isabella Burke. Isabella. Tristan Karpak. Tristan? Is Tristan up here? Oh, there's Tristan. There she comes. And then we have a wonderful team. Lisa Schwab, Rachel Gallagher, Jessica Mazzola, Sheena Garrick, Vicki Wood, Lisa Gibbons, Debbie Serrano, Heather Labuda, and Chance, our therapy dog. Come on up. right, Zoe. Zoe embraces a growth mindset, honesty and trustworthy, kind to self and others, supports and serves others. Zoe Gonzalez is a very diligent student. Her teacher shares she works very hard to make sure her assignments are completed with accuracy and neatness. She takes pride in her work and participates and contributes to class discussions and lessons on a regular basis. Zoe is a Titan by always being willing to help other students with kindness and calmness. She is a role model in our 3rd grade class. Zoe Gonzalez. Isabella. Isabella accepts challenges, embraces a growth mindset, is kind to others. Mr. Zaccaro shared as her math teacher that Isabella is a super hard worker and very conscientious. She is determined to do well and gives 110% effort all the time. Isabella is super polite and helpful. All characters of what it means to be a Titan, and we are so proud of Isabella. Keep up the great job. Tristan. Tristan accepts challenges, embraces a growth mindset, is relentless and resilient, honest and trustworthy, and kind to others and self. She works very hard and has an excellent growth mindset. She has shown a great improvement in her reading. She worked hard on her math reading test and grew 23 points. Tristan comes in, yes, that's amazing. Clap for that one. Tristan comes in every day with a positive attitude and spreads that positivity and energy to her peers. She is kind and helpful to her classmates when they need help, and she is an excellent role model for everyone at BPE. Are you guys hiding around the corner over there? All right, so this is our Title I group. They are amazing, and I do have a book to write, no pun intended. But they accept challenges, embrace growth mindset every day. They're relentless and resilient, honest and trustworthy, kind to self and others. They honor our heritage and celebrate new traditions all the time. They create a sense of belonging and safety, and they support and serve others. So Lisa, Rachel, Jessica, Sheena, Vicky, Lisa G, Debbie, Heather, and Chance. Our BPE team wants to just tell you how amazing you all are. You work so hard every day to provide and support our students, and it does not go unnoticed. You are seen doing many things to support students throughout the day, and each time have a goal in mind to always increase our literacy skills. You were presented with a challenge this year by myself and our staff. I needed you to look at how we could support our students in a different way with literacy, and you took on that challenge. Not only did you take on that challenge, but you gathered data, developed a framework, collaborated with us administrators, presented to our staff, and went to work. I can't thank you enough for all you do. And that's not all. You will see them greeting families every morning in the car line. They assist students at the end of the day as the buses leave. There are many times these ladies are the first faces my students see to start and then end their day. I am so proud to be their administrator and part of their team. Finally, I cannot forget our therapy dog, Chance. Chance comes in every morning, goes right to Miss Val for a banana. He knows he's going to get his banana. And then it doesn't bring so much joy as he runs down that hallway straight for my office. And he just wants a pet, or to find a stuffed animal in my office to take. He brings so much joy to our students as they read to him, just spend time with him. Just his presence makes a difference and a calming for many of our students. Thank you all for all that you are doing, and it means the world. You are an excellent example of what it means to be a Titan. thought he might take it. Chances amazing. There he goes. And if you notice, or not, chances are three-legged friend. Up next is Miss Bonnie Quebec and Miss Frimmel from Bakery.
Good evening. We have 4 friends that we would like to call up tonight. Avery Pace, Brennan DeLuna, Shakti Reveri, and Lucas Nara. So Avery Pace is here tonight because she accepts challenges. She embraces a growth mindset. She is relentless and resilient, very honest and trustworthy, owns her choices, and is kind to self and the students that she works with every day. The 2nd grade team has chosen Avery to receive the Titan Award. She has shown exceptional behavior, and she goes above and beyond with her classwork and all things that she does. Avery has shown all the character traits that make up a Titan. Congratulations, Avery. Next up, we have Lucas Nara. Lucas, I nominated you. Lucas is honest and trustworthy, he's kind to self and others, he creates a sense of belonging and safety, and he supports and serves others. Lucas, I nominated you tonight for this Be a Titan Award because you truly exhibit the character traits of a Titan. You're always kind and willing to help others, you spend time in the clinic working as an aide with the nurses, and you help other children feel comfortable there while waiting to see the nurse. I've seen you give the waiting students coloring sheets and talk with them to keep them calm and relaxed. All the nurses love having you come down to the clinic to help out. And Lucas, no matter when I see you in the hallways, at lunch, no matter how often during the day, you always stop and make sure to say hello to me and ask me how my day is. Thank you for that. So Lucas, thank you for being a great Titan example to others. Congratulations. Next, we nominate Shakti Reveri. And Shakti embraces a growth mindset. He is relentless and resilient, and honest and trustworthy, and supports and serves others. Shakti is a helpful, hardworking, positive, and honest student at Big Creek Elementary School and in his community. He consistently displays the characteristics of a Titan: being responsible, being respectful, and being safe. He is a good friend to all students and is always willing to pitch in and help with any task that you ask him to help with. He is a model student. Congratulations. All right. And now we're going to turn the program back over to Mr. Draves.
I've been blessed this year with the opportunity to see education through a different lens in working as the business manager in the district as well. I've gotten to see up close and personal our classified staff and how hard they work. And there were 2 members that had really stood out to me that I wanted to be able to recognize tonight. In talking with their supervisors, they thought it was a great idea. I'd like to call up Monica Baker and Sue Patty, please, if they're here. First up is Monica Baker, who is, she is our router for the school district, but our dispatcher had to go out for medical leave, and so Monica stepped up and took her place doing that as well. And we have here that she accepts challenges, embraces a growth mindset, certainly has learned a lot this year, relentless and resilient, honest and trustworthy, and is always very kind to herself and to others. Since the beginning of her position as the routing coordinator this summer, Monica has jumped in with both feet and tackled everything that has been thrown at her. Her work ethic and enthusiasm are inspiring, and she learned the routing software so quickly and was efficient in creating routes in no time. When our dispatcher went out, she was ready and willing to adjust her schedule and do what was needed to fill in, sometimes being there for a part of the morning, going home and coming back to finish up at the end of the day, as well as drive routes when they needed to be covered, which unfortunately was a lot. Through all the adversity and extra work and ever-changing days, the one thing that you can count on is that Monica has a positive attitude, and for that we're very thankful. Thank you. The last person we want to recognize tonight is Sue Patty. I'll be honest, this came from a conversation with Mrs. Wheeler and myself. We were just sitting in my office, and she's like, "You know who busts their butt?" And it was Sue Patty. Sue Patty is one of the hardest working employees that we have. We have the utmost respect for her work ethic. She takes care of the grounds around this enormous high school, and she always does it with pride and cares what the grounds look like, and she cares very much about our building and the environment that our kids go to school in. She is an incredible asset not only to our building, but to our school district. Thank you, Sue. You got something, Karen?
Okay, so lesson learned, always put my glasses on before I start reading because I didn't have them on, and when I turned to hand the recognition to our student, it was not our student that I was recognizing. So I do have my glasses on now. But I would like to have Brennan and Luna come up, please. Because I miscalled him Shakti. And when I looked down at him and saw his eyes, I realized what I had done. So Brennan, one more time, you get to hear not only Shakti's, but you get to hear your recognition. And this just again shows you what a Titan he is, because he was kind and gracious to me in my moment of error. So Brennan, come on up over here, Miss Firma. I know who you are, you know who I am. So Brennan embraces a growth mindset. He is relentless, he is resilient, he is a Titan. Brennan was chosen by the first grade team of teachers because he has demonstrated unrelenting leadership skills, whether in the classroom, on the playground, or at recess. His dedication and persistence in setting and achieving personal goals this year is outstanding. He continues to grow and shine in the first grade, and we are so proud of Brennan. Congratulations.
Yeah, let's get his picture. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. This is obviously one of my favorite things to do. We do it 3 times during the school year, but to hear these stories on a cold March day is fuel to keep us going to spring break. So I appreciate everyone being here, and thank you very much.
Okay, well, congratulations to all of our recipients, students, and staff.
We are going to continue on with the meeting. You are welcome to stay, of course. You are not mandated to stay. We do have an interesting presentation coming up by our treasurer on House Bill 1, which is going to impact all property owners. It's a tax revision for property owners. So even if you are leaving, please take some time to review the presentation on our stream on YouTube. I think it's very informational. It's going to kind of open your eyes to what we're up against in the State House. So thank you. Okay, I think we're good as far as the noise level goes, so we will proceed. The next item on the agenda is public participation. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a couple of things. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment, and we do care about what you have to say. We're committed to conducting the meetings efficiently while allowing for an opportunity for input to be considered. Public participation will be governed by the following principles. Each person come to the microphone. We have a microphone down at the base of the stage there, and give your name and city of residence. You have 3 minutes to speak. The board will not directly answer or respond to any of the questions that are directed to us while you're speaking, but I promise you that if there's a response that's needed, the superintendent will, or who she delegates, will get back to you shortly. And then we just ask that comments are not repetitive or offensive or constitute a threat. So pretty fair rules there. So we have a couple of people who are speaking on agenda items. The first speaker is Bruna Galati. That's the base. Sorry.
Okay, my name is Bruna Galati, and I live in Middleburg Heights. And this concerns the proposed Mindfully LLC contract. As we all know, SEL was rolled out this year. Also earlier this year, a school climate survey was issued to students. SEL promotes data collection by means of these surveys. So perhaps that information was used to collect data from students, from students who feel badly about their school environment. Rather than addressing the students' concerns at a school administration level, Berea has chosen to push off this responsibility to mean that the child has an emotional problem dealing with adversity. Oh, and in the diagnosis process, the student may need meds to cope. Is that the next step? Well, that's quite often what occurs with mental health services. First line of action should be to have a discussion with the parents, not a third party. So my first question is, why is this contract necessary? It doesn't provide free assistance for those whose insurance coverage doesn't pay for mental health services. There's nothing free here, and on page 4 it states you can self-pay. Mindfully LLC should list the individual providers with the insurance companies they accept. The Better Business Bureau website listed complaints regarding insurance coverage problems that took months to resolve. Secondly, why not address the concern directly between the school and the parents? Why is the child viewed as the problem that requires fixing? Perhaps the school environment is what needs to change. I don't know. I fail to see how this benefits the student, especially those who cannot afford their services. I view this as another step of overreach for authority. So parents, where are you on this subject? Wake up and make your voices heard. I propose that the signing of this contract be postponed to give parents more time to review and comment. Parents, call your state representatives and tell them to support House Bill 1 for school choice. Thank you very much.
Next speaker is James Grosh.
Good evening, school board, parents. Everybody that is in support of House Bill 1. Please contact your representatives. We need to get that approved. Yeah, this Trinity thing, it's skeptical at best. It seems like the school district is turning into more of a mental health institution than a school. $86,000 to steps, behavioral consulting, $33,000 to insight behavioral counseling, $5K for positive education program, $18K for Stop Health, $40,000 for North Coast Therapy. Some of these are, I'm sure, legitimate, but you know, I seen a video last night. A father all proud of transgendering his 3-month-old boy, 3 months old, and he was all proud. A 3-month-old boy. It's another issue. I spoke to a girl, high school girl, the other day. Just happened to get into a conversation. She said she was forced to stand up and say what her pronouns are by the teacher. She hated it. I advised her, get them on recording, expose this stuff. That's compelled speech, and it's illegal. The rest of my time I'll read from this about gender-affirming care, which, are you going to be doing that in this new Trinity and your health thing here? Hershey's Canada has received lots of attention over its decision to use their ad dollars on promoting an ideology rather than a product. Their new International Women's Day campaign featured not a woman, but a man who identified as a woman. And that was, you see Jill Biden up there giving the Woman of the Year to a man. And by the way, I'll say it again, it's two genders. Anything else is delusions. Unfortunately, what didn't receive that kind of attention is the recent statement by the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons that the practice of so-called gender-affirming care, convincing impressionable teenagers that feeling like the opposite sex means you are the opposite sex, is extremely damaging in a 7-part statement.
Mr. Grosh, since you have wandered off of your House Bill 1 topic, I'm going to ask you to either continue on House Bill 1.
Well, is there gender-affirming care going to be spoken about in this Trinity, whatever this thing is?
I don't know
that part of
Trinity item you're speaking of.
Maybe this book will be in there for kids to read. Maybe I'll read a few excerpts.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll read a few
Grosh.
excerpts.
Have a good evening. Okay, we have one more speaker for agenda items, Ryan McClain, sorry.
I would like to address a couple of things tonight. First, I support House Bill 1 for school choice expansion. If you're scared of choice, it only goes to show you don't wish to change how things are and do better for the students. It shows that the school district is protecting the Berea Federation of Teachers over students. The school district does not have proper authorization to provide psychological counseling to minors, and even if they did, they would require parental consent as this is a form of healthcare. I have a bachelor's of science in psychology, and it's enough to understand that you need 6 years of education to even begin the process of acquiring the proper licensure to provide therapy. That's 2 more years than I have. Furthermore, the available information on Mindfulness LLC is not very good. I've read a number of stories of people who have had bad experiences with their services, including the excusable patience abusers and gaslighting of their parents, of these other patients. Can we trust an outside agency with our children? The answer is no. If you want to take your child to receive therapy, it's easy. Just take the kid yourself. Instead of spending money on this, let's expand busing. We cut back busing in 2021 to make room for woke programs like the JEDI program. Let's spend more money on textbooks, and not woke books either. Books that actually hold educational value. Let's do something about our students who to this day get bullied and ignored for the sake of protecting the school district's reputation, or whatever's left of it. The Board of Education needs to take the concerns of we the parents seriously. My wife and I have a newborn son back at home, and I'm not going to stand back and watch a kindergarten teacher turn him into a girl. I won't stand back and watch a 4th grade teacher tell a boy of both Japanese and Turkish descent that he has white privilege, which by the way is a racist myth that needs to stop being taught as of its effect. Late last year, an individual who just spoke before me actually, came to the school board with legitimate concerns of a book that was sexually graphic in nature, and you flipped it around on him and claimed he was being inappropriate and threatening. He merely repeated what was in the book, and if that makes you uncomfortable, you have a serious problem. The individual did not threaten you. He expressed serious concerns of a book available to middle schoolers, which has mentions of rape, molestation, grooming, behaviors, assault, and battery. We won't back down, and we're standing up for our children.
Just a note, House Bill 1 has nothing to do. It has to do with the taxing structure for property taxes. So if you're going to be using House Bill 1 as your platform to speak, please make sure you know what bill you are speaking about. So the next item is board bravos. Who would like to start?
I would like to congratulate the Education Foundation on the successful auction. The auction happened online, you all probably know, for about 5 days. And we don't have the final numbers yet, but it's looking like it was another really successful event. So just want to thank everybody for their participation and their support of our students.
Okay, over the past few weekends, Berea Mid-Park Titans have been competing all over the country, all over the state and the country at the highest levels in their various specialties, from speech and debate, gymnastics, boys wrestling, girls wrestling, track and field. Numerous students who spent countless years preparing, practicing, improving, and competing had to step onto the biggest stages at the state level and at the national level. These students, their advisors, parents, and coaches all deserve the praise. And most of the students were very, very successful and brought great honor to our district.
I'd love to piggyback on what Rick said. Also congratulate our music department, our high school symphonic choir, symphonic band, and symphonic winds all participated in the OMEA district contest this weekend, as well as our third graders from BPE and 4th graders in ukulele club at Grindstone performed here on Saturday night as part of the Great Lakes Ukulele Revival. And then we also had 5 students who participated in the National Business Professionals of America contest, and they ended up in the top 10 in the entire country. And as a result, they're getting to participate in the National Leadership Conference in Anaheim, California next month.
Just want to congratulate the musicians that were here Thursday evening for the 53rd Orchestra Festival. Included 7th and 8th graders from the middle school, 9, 10, 11, and 12th graders from the high school. They all performed with a guest conductor. The music was very nice, but what I thought was more exciting to me, or more telling, was I was backstage when the students came off from their performance. They were all so excited. They were high-fiving the conductor. They were walking down the hall going, "Oh, that was so much fun. I wish we could do this, have this conductor all the time. I just loved playing this music tonight." So I just enjoyed the enthusiasm more than the music itself, though the music was very well done. So thanks.
Although I hear that the announcer, the MC, was a charming fellow as well.
Quite handsome too, from my understanding.
That would have been me. One of the things that constantly not surprises me, but I very much appreciate, is how charitable our students are. And it starts in the young grades all the way up to the high school years. And one of that's kind of what my Bravo is today, is another shout out to a program at Big Creek. They're having their annual spring tennis shoe drive, and it's being coordinated by Mr. Ignam, the PE teacher at Big Creek Elementary. So it's another instance of a lot of people within the school community trying to make a difference all around. So if you have any tennis shoes that you don't need anymore, are still in pretty good shape, there is a donation box outside the main office at the elementary school in Middleburg, and please contribute. So thank you very much. Next item is superintendent's recommendations. Your update.
Is that on up there? Alright, so I just want to start, and the board knows this, and we're going to start actually publicizing for this here soon. So on Saturday, May 13th, we talked about it being the day that I would do the State of the Schools. We have themed it this year, 10 Years of Titans. And so it's going to be our BCSD school showcase. So it's going to be from 10 to noon. And so we're going to start putting this information out for people kind of to save the date. 10 to noon, which will start off here in the auditorium with the State of the Schools presentation. And then throughout the morning, we will have the district art show, which actually will start on Thursday night, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then along with that, there will be different student performances in the morning and different kinds of groups and things that we will also be showcasing throughout the auditorium, out in the foyer, and then in the gym also. So we're kind of excited about this, something new this year, to get people, one, into the building, but to, again, share what's going on, the good things that are going on in our building. We also, on that day, the Berea Alumni Association and the Tree of Knowledge group did fundraise enough to restore and to rehang the Tree of Knowledge. So there will also be a Tree of Knowledge rededication event immediately following the showcase on that Saturday. So it'll be a busy day. Like I said, we'll start to put this information out and make sure everyone's kind of marking their calendars, and we hope people will come out and join us that day. So I want to, at this time, I'd like to call up Ms. Frimmel and Helena Clean-Goliath. So I had shared with the board presentation that we wanted to do tonight around 2 different programs that we started to talk about. So hold on. So last summer, I met with the 3 mayors. And we had lots of conversations about a lot of different things. But one of the things that was brought up, and it was brought up mostly because of the Veterans Outreach Program that they have for the city of Berea. And so Mayor Castelli and Mayor Orcott both wanted to know more about that program and what Mayor Clean does with that in the city of Berea. And from that, we kind of stemmed off into finding ways that we can also get veterans more involved in our schools as a way for them to give back. So we created a committee. We held our first meeting on November 21st of last year. And at that meeting, there were representatives from all 3 cities, and then there were representatives from the school district. So we had, that committee has been charged with 2 different things. Our main focus is, 1, how do we create a veterans outreach program for our district? How can we find ways to get veterans involved in our schools? And then the second thing that we talked about is a program through the state of Ohio that's called the Purple Star designation. So we're going to start tonight, and Ms. Goliath and Ms. Frimmel are going to present, talk a little bit about the Purple Star designation. One of our goals is really by the end of next school year, the 23-24 school year, is that we have all 5 buildings in our district that they will have earned the Purple Star designation. So what's it all about? I'm going to let these 2 ladies kind of share that information, starting with kind of the roadmap of how we get to that. So, ladies,
I might mess that up.
There you go.
Well, just to introduce myself, I'm Helena Clean Goliath. I'm an intervention specialist at Grindstone Elementary.
And I'm Karen Frimmel, and I'm the assistant principal at Big Creek Elementary School.
So I'll see if I can get this started. And we're not experts at this because it's in its infancy, so we're new to it. And every time I look this up, I'm learning something new. So last August, before the beginning of the school year, I saw that Tracy had met, like she said, with the mayors, and she talked about the Purple Star. And I thought, well, I'm kind of interested in this. I'll see what it is. Well, next thing you know, I'm on the committee. So, I know, I'm just kidding. The Purple Star Award is when it's like we're recognizing our Titans. It's the same as recognizing a unique set of Titans. And those are our students who come from military families. And they're actually students that are from active military families. And then actually the state of Ohio started the Purple Star, which I was unaware of, but like I said, I've learned a lot since we've been implementing this program. It was started in the state of Ohio. As of date, we know there's close to 13,000 students in the state of Ohio that have parents that are in active military. And what we need to do for these children within our own district is to know that empower them, that we're there to take care of them. They're probably the most unique set of students that we have due to the fact that their life also evolves around what their parents do as a living. So within their school age years, they move anytime between 6 to 9 times from kindergarten to 12th grade. So our job as teachers and staff and community members is to make them feel welcome, no matter if they're coming from city to city or coming from state to state, and making sure that we take their records, that they can join extracurricular activities, they're ready for college. So that's what we're here to do. So for the Purple Star, you have to apply for it. Yes. I think I must be jumping ahead because this is Karen's slide. Sorry.
Well, she is very passionate about it, and actually she inspired me as well as Tracy Wheeler when I was invited to the committee in November as well. And this has always held a very important part in my own personal life, in just what I value the men and women that help serve our country. So I was really excited to be asked to be part of this committee and to do the work. I didn't quite know what it all involved, but like Helena had said, you start thinking, you begin to learn, and then it's like a giant, there's giant layers that you peel back and you realize that there's more and more to learn. So in order to have this recognition or this designation, you do have to apply for, annually, you have to apply for the designation, and the applications open in November and they close in December 15th of 2022. So annually, those are the dates. And you have to go through some specific training that is an online training to be the person that is the designee for your building. You also have to have specific events, and we will share some of the things that we did prior to December 15th. You have events post December 15th, but you have to have some that occur prior to that December 15th deadline as well. And this is the time in January when they review, January and February, they review those applications. And between February and March, you may be in contact from the committee to let you know, are there other pieces of information that we need to gather from the schools that have applied. For this year, since it is so new, our goal is next year to have everybody apply, but this year, Big Creek and Grindstone both did submit an application by the 15th deadline. And we're looking forward to April, the announcement of being designated as a Purple Star school designee. So schools must also renew every 3 years. So once this happens, we would resubmit that application 3 years from now annually. So we're going to share a little bit more about what we've done. We've pretty much covered.
Oh, well, we have the military.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, do we tend to go to that?
Yeah, you should probably add the name. That's okay. So we have very specific application requirements, the points of contact for the military families. And so at Grindstone, Helena is the point of contact, and at Big Creek Elementary School, I am the point of contact. You also need to begin the development of a military resource page, which we have just opened. There's professional development that is required, not only for ourselves, but then we also have the staff participate in that so that they understand how important this work is. Activities that celebrate the military families and connections to students, and then we also have to provide our artifacts, our evidence of our participation.
So one thing we had to do was make a resource page on our website, and with the help of Christina through our through the board office, we came up with a website that's under the Parent and Children's or Students tab, which gives information if you're from a military family, in case you needed some resources to go to. We also put a book corner in there so parents can read stories to their students or their children. I mean, that would kind of maybe help them with information, why mom maybe got deployed or why dad is deployed or why mom's not coming back right now. We also have some information on there where they can go watch videos that are from Sesame Street is a program that offers a lot of different videos for children to watch that are connected to military families. So that's, like I said, that's on our website if you're interested in going in and looking at that. It also gives some resources within the community that families can go to, whether it's the pantries or even the Veterans Outreach Program, which they can go in and get some more information depending on what their need is. Now at Grindstone, we were able to start this program a little earlier. It's nice too that, because I'm also at Grindstone the K-Kid Advisors, which is a service club in 4th grade that I do once a month with our 4th graders. And I noticed that a lot of the activities, our K kids had already started, so we were able to begin this application process early. So you'll see that in the month of October, we do recognize our military veterans active and ones who are retired or no longer with us. We did it as a school-wide program, and we recognized all veterans within the families, and then we attached names to flags and posted on the front of the grindstone tree lawn, and we had close to 300 flags out there. So that would be counted as an activity that we can use toward the application. On the top right, you will see a 5x7 banner that we came up with that we post at the classroom of each teacher's doorway that has a child in their classroom where a parent is part of one of the branches of the military. And it just lets them know that this is a classroom of a military student. And then it's there so all the students or staff or parents walking past can recognize that classroom in their own way. Our third graders also did a concert in November, and they wrote letters to different veterans and they had it posted. At the concert itself, they had invited active and non-active military veterans to come, and they were recognized at the concert. Another thing that we do is in October, we start collecting candy for treats for troops, and then we let the Berea Veterans Program in Berea know that we have this candy, and then they put a message out there for anyone who has children who might be part of the military or family members, and then the candy is shipped all around. This past year, we had candy that was shipped to a ship that was actually on its way to the Rock of Gibraltar. We had candy shipped, mailed to Texas, Alaska, and then we also got a note from a station in England that received a box of our candy. So it was really nice to see that, those letters coming back, and then we shared those with the children.
We have similar activities at Big Creek Elementary School. We salute the veterans and the family members of veterans at a concert where we invite all prior and current veterans, servicemen, to come, and we acknowledge them and recognize them, not only with a celebration of songs, but also with a celebration of slides and pictures of them through the ages of their service. Some of the pictures include children with family members that are servicemen, but some, and women, but some are just historical pictures and referencing where they served and what that experience might be. Students created buttons that were distributed also, recognizing, working with our makerspace and recognizing different servicemen and what they had done to support their country. And also students wrote postcards and sent them to the veterans to have that school connection, to thank them for the service that they provide for our country. On another note, something very new that I had never experienced this year was we had a new student enroll, and within 5 days prior to that enrollment, that mother of the child had been deployed for service. And it was something that was so eye-opening to me, something that happened that was so sudden that we had to think of different ways for this young early learner to connect to their family. And so one of the things that we would do during our PTA events or our donuts for dads and moms is we literally opened up a face page, and the mom was able to join us in her deployment location in Poland and be with her entire family and that young early learner and celebrate the experiences that were happening across the school. And I have to tell you that that experience for me changed my perspective on how critical and how challenging it is that these children, when their parents are deployed, that we're there to support them and help them make those connections.
So I want to, everything that these ladies talked about is amazing, and it really is for us to provide another way to meet the needs of our kids in our district, right? And again, I'm an aunt of a military guy who was deployed and, missed, 2 months after his son was born, and comes back and we've got a walker. And what that does to a family. So this just gives us another opportunity, another way to assist with our students and their families of our active military families. I do want to give a huge shout out to Helena. She when this whole thing started, and when we first met as our committee, she was the rock star. No disrespect, Karen. She was a rock star that she's kind of like everybody else who's representing, who's the military liaison person from each building is actually an administrator, except for Grindstone. And Helena has taken on that role, and she has done an incredible job and has set a real tone for what the other buildings are doing to be able to acknowledge and to assist with the families of our active military members. So I thank you both very, very much. Well, I'm thinking that they say the February, March is the revision period, and so we haven't heard anything yet, so that might be a good sign. So if we don't hear anything by the end of March, I think it's probably a pretty solid opportunity for us to have at least 2 Purple Star designated schools by the end of the year. So, and thank you to the both of you for doing that. I appreciate it. So just in addition to that, I'm going to talk real quick. Again, the second focus of that was just what kind of opportunities, so this is active military, but what can we do in our district then to also give some opportunities to our veterans? So again, I met with the 3 mayors that Mayor Orcott in August of 22 hosted like a tri-city meeting for me and the 3 mayors, really just to invite veterans from the 3 communities to come in and to hear kind of the things we were talking about. That was such infancy stage. At that point, we were really not able to say, X, Y, and Z, this is what we were going to do. So after that meeting in August, we met then as that team in November. And one of the things that team focused on was, well, what kind of opportunities are we talking about? There was a lot of talk about, we know all veterans can't do all kinds of things. And so this was kind of the list that we created as a team of the different opportunities that we thought would be available to some of our veterans. Again, from tutoring to being a reading buddy, to maybe just being in the lunchroom chatting with kids, all the way up to, can we bring some of these folks in to have some military career discussions with kids on career days? Can we bring some of these folks in who can can come into a social studies class and talk about a certain topic? There's going to be some vetting of that, just so you know. One of the requirements, and again, I learned so much. We have so many good resources in this district. What is it, the DD 219? What form? So 214, I couldn't remember, it was 214 or 219. DD 214 is basically when you're relieved of your military duty, you get a DD 214, and it kind of tells us a little bit about them. And so that is one of the things that we've required of them. Not all of them in the situations that we're in, do they have to be background checked? Because in most situations, they will be directly with other adults with kids, and that's kind of how we do that. So we put out that application starting and creating the application too. So that was a whole team process of, here's a sample application, let's take a look at it, what do you think, give us your feedback and input. And it was great being able to talk to some of these veterans that are on our committee who are very knowledgeable and who are still very passionate about continuing to serve and give back to their communities. So I will tell you, as of today, we have 3 people who have filled out the application. That will still have a vetting piece where there'll be a team from our initial team who'll sit down and take a look at the application, to look at the DD 214s, and to be able to decide, yes, this person we can put in the things that they've selected, where they've selected, and this will work out very well. So again, to have school personnel on that, to have Helena as part of that team, and then to have some of the veterans from our community serving on that committee and on those specific teams is really going to be helpful. So again, this is on our website, and again, if anyone has any questions, they can just reach out to me and we can answer that for them. So any questions that you might have? We're really excited. Again, the Purple Star designation to me is significant. As I said, just as another way to help our families, and especially talking about a young kiddo who just lost his mom to deployment, and we know that that can be life-changing for our children. So what kinds of things can we put in place to help them? Questions?
What tab is it under, the application? I saw the military resource piece that Helena was talking about, but I can't find that.
If you go to, it's, let me just unplug this because it's going to go haywire on me. Hold on. It's under our programs, I think is what the title is. So yeah, if you go to programs.
Yes, okay, there it is.
Yep, it's under programs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm excited to know that we've got two kind of in the bank ready to hopefully get good news.
Yes.
And it makes me confident that we'll be ready to be up and running for all 5 buildings come next year. We'll have enough history behind us to really be able to pull everything together.
Yeah, and can I just say too, and if we're not, it's okay.
Yeah.
So again, Helena, and Karen too at the elementary. Elementary really lends itself to a lot of this stuff naturally, but just the simple thing of putting that purple star on a classroom where we know we have a child of a family member who is active duty, right? Just those kinds of things. And again, Helena's really shared that information. So it may take a little longer at the middle school. I mean, it's still our goal, but our hope is that we still, and we've got a good base to build off of. So it's the goal.
I don't expect you to know exactly, but how many families do we have in the district?
So here's part of it. I'm trying to think of how many are on that whole tab. What? You have 5. Big Creek
So
has.
Grindstone has 5.
So here's what if they're active military, so it's part of how they register. So when they do the online registration, we ask them to identify. So that's where they identify. I'll give you the example, the brother who came back last week to the middle school to surprise his sister, we did not know that family had an active military member. So for whatever reason, right? So whether that has been updated or not, so we are actually, Mrs. McQuarrie from the middle school has created a form that will probably push out district-wide again, asking for that. Instead of saying, hey, go back to the online registration form and update that right then, we may just go ahead and push it out that way. So we only get the updates when someone registers new, and or if they change their military status and update that on their online registration form. So do I think the numbers that we have are accurate? I don't, but that isn't due to something we're not doing. It's just whether or not families are updating that information.
But I would imagine there's a handful across the district,
Yes.
building across the district.
Yes. Anything else? Okay.
Thank you very much, and thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Next item is a consent agenda. It's recommended that items E3 through E14 be approved as part of the consent agenda unless board member wishes to have an item removed.
So moved.
Second.
So everything on the consent agenda are pretty much routine personnel items. I just want to acknowledge Sue McGonigal, who is one of our tech specialists, who's pretty much stationed at BPE. She is retiring at the end end of May, and she has been with the district since 1996. So we thank her for her time and all of her efforts and support for the district. And wish her all the best in retirement.
Were there any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Item 15, Title I Program Lead Teacher. It's recommended that the job description for Title I Program Lead Teacher be adopted as outlined in the attached exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
So as part of our Title I funding, which we get a lot of federal funding for Title I, and BPE is a school-wide Title I building. So Mrs. Schnei recognized the Title I teachers tonight. We are adding 2 additional teachers to Title I at the building next year. That's a large staff for Title I. So what Mr. DeSenza and Mrs. Rowland have proposed is that we create a new job position as a Title I program lead teacher who kind of will oversee all of the work and the coordination of the Title I program at BPE. And I think it's definitely needed just because of the size of the building and the size of the program right now. So we're just asking the board to approve that job description for us to be able to post that.
Is the Title I Program Lead Teacher, is that for BPE or is that for the middle school?
That's BPE.
Yes, that was my fault in updating you guys the other day. It is for BPE.
BPE.
Yes.
So the next one we're going to talk about is for the middle school, but which will also come out of Title I funds.
My fault on that. I understand
That's
the
Jill.
process for the middle school.
Any questions?
Is this an administrative position or is it a teacher position?
It is a teacher position.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Item 16, it's recommended that the job description for the middle school connections teacher be adopted as outlined in the attached exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so this also is a new position at the middle school, and this will look a lot like the connections program that we have at the high school, except it doesn't have the work-based component of it. So we will fund it using title money. And again, this is a program really that it's designed to help meet the needs of some of our at-risk kids at the middle school, just similar to what we're doing at the high school. So again, this would be a new job description that we're asking the board to approve so that we can post for that job.
No questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Item 17, it's recommended that the Board of Education approve the purchase of wrestling mats from Resolite for $40,972.
So moved.
Second.
Only if anyone has any questions. We need a new wrestling mat. And it's a good one. It'll last us about 20 years.
And the funding comes out of the
Permanent improvement money. Yep.
Expenditure.
Is this just for one mat?
Yes.
But it's really
Oh, I'm sorry. It is two. I understand by using the Resolite mats that we don't have to tape as much, and tape is very expensive.
It's two-sided too.
And it's two-sided, yes.
And it
So,
goes in the wrestling room, so it's that whole big space.
yeah.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Item 18, it's recommended that the Board of Education approve the contract with Same Goal.
So moved.
Second.
So I know Ms. Sampson has been desperately trying to find software that will help, that will better assist us with writing our IEPs, 504s, benefit also for gifted. We can put our WEPs and WAPs in there, and it all integrates very nicely with our student information system with Infinite Campus.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Matt?
Yes.
Item 19, it's recommended that the Board of Education approve the current minimum wage rate for the state of Ohio to be enacted for the purpose of compensation for time worked, approximately 1 to 4 hours per day for the students listed below, participating and employed in the Berea City School Student Tech Aids Program for the summer of 23 and 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
So we have done this in the past, but because these are, well, Braden we've had before, but there's a new student on there that we just have to have the board approve so that we can actually hire them and pay them. I know Braden, I don't know the other student, but just awesome. Very, very helpful for our tech program, our tech department, and them doing their summer work, summer cleaning, and actually helping repair computers when they're broken.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Matt?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Item 20, it's recommended that the Board of Education enter into agreement for the 22-23 school year between the Berea City School District and Sunshine Transportation LLC for transporting students at the written request of the district for any student requiring transportation in vehicles which meet all applicable safety and transportation laws and standards as shown in the exhibit below.
So moved.
Second.
So we're asking the board to approve this contract for if and when only we need additional transportation that we cannot provide. So we have had an influx of McKinney-Vento students, which are homeless students, and just for the boards, if you're not aware, when a student is homeless, let's say we have a Berea City School District student becomes homeless and goes and I'm going to go crazy, goes and resides in Avon with someone just to have housing. It is the district's responsibility to provide transportation. So again, there may be times when we have students, this could be for non-homeless students too. This could be, we have a student that we've changed placement and we don't have the transportation to get there. So this is only we can't do it and we need someone else to help us provide transportation, would we use this contract? So this is not intended to transport with a different company, it's when we may need it.
We just recently approved another as an alternate,
Yes.
as an option.
Yep.
Just need if we need it.
Correct, and they're busy too, so adding another one gives us another alternative if and when we would need that additional transportation. But it's not meant to take the place of our current transportation and or drivers.
How much notice do we typically get when a student needs this emergency transportation?
None. I mean, we can, usually in situations we're able to work very nicely with families to say, give us the time, but technically you owe them the transportation as soon as am I right, Lori? Yeah. We aren't really allowed to delay them coming, right? That's denying them school. So, but we still are able to work with families to try to get kids what they need as quickly as we can. And as you know, finding drivers and things like that right now for everyone is kind of a hard thing to do. So.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Matt?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Number 21, it's recommended the Board of Education approve the contract for structured literacy profession development as shown in the exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
So this is just part of our structured literacy plan to have some of our staff trained in Norton Gillingham. So this is the group that will provide the professional development for us.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Number 22, it's recommended that the Board of Education approve the quote from Royal Business Equipment for 20 laptop replacements and 20 docking stations for use by staff and substitutes as shown in the exhibit below.
So moved.
Second.
Only if the board has questions. We just are replacing some tech.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Number 23, it's recommended that the Board of Education approve the merger of understanding with Mindfully LLC to provide therapy services in the district per the attached exhibit.
So moved. Second.
So I will share publicly the information I shared with the board in my update last week, so everyone has a little better understanding. So the board is aware and the community is aware. Currently, we already contract with someone. We contract with Guidestone. Guidestone has been they work solely with families who have Medicaid. And we have Guidestone counselors in all of our buildings that work with our students, that see our students during the course of the school day. Some of those students also, they may see and work with their families at home, so it just depends on the needs of the students and their families. Right now, what we are seeing, we have a lot of kids in crisis, we have a lot of families in crisis, and that number continues to grow. Whether people believe that or not, we see it every single day. And when we talk with parents, more times than not, Sanson and I are going, well, what do we do? Because there is only so much that we can do as a school district. And meeting the needs of these kids exceeds far beyond what our guidance counselors can do. It exceeds far beyond what our student family support specialists can do, and I think we've done an excellent job of adding that layer, our student family support specialists, to the district. Then we have Guidestone, who will see families and children and who are on Medicaid. Mindfully LLC is, and we need. Every day we could say we need 10 more counselors, people who can provide therapy for our kids, of which again, our staff is not trained to do that. So Mindfully reached out to Lori. Lori said, let's take a look at this. Mindfully will take private insurance and they will also take families who are on Medicaid. So this is just an expansion of Guidestone gives us what they are able to give us, right? If we could have Guidestone go times 10 what we have right now, we could probably keep times 10 busy of Guidestone counselors. But again, they only take families from Medicaid. So number one, families are having a really difficult time finding therapy for their children. So by us actually providing someone in-house that can do that. And then number two is families are busy. And so, so it's finding people and then it's them finding the time. A lot of times taking their children out of school to go to therapy. Again, Mindfully will come in with parental permission. We do not provide therapy to our students without parental permission. So with parental permission, then Mindfully would also then pull and work and meet with students during the course of the school day that works best for kids, and that's just an added layer that we can provide as a district. Again, it is something that we need to help our kids and to start down a path of healing some of our kids who actually need the help that they're not getting. So yeah, as a school district, we're not doing that service. we're just providing a pathway for parents who are looking for their children to be involved in therapy to make that a little easier on them. Is there anything I missed from what I updated? Yeah, I didn't really read it. So we're gonna pilot it at the end of this school year, and our goal is to pilot it at BPE and maybe Big Creek. See how it goes, get feedback from the buildings, get feedback from Mindfully. They're a therapy service just like anybody else, so they've got to find staff. They have assured us that they have the staff that could do those 2 buildings right now. So if this is something that we would agree to extend next year to all of our buildings, then they have the opportunity over summer to find staff so that we can put this in all the buildings starting next year.
Can you talk about what the process is? Does a child get referred by a staff member, or can a parent just call and say they want their child to see someone? How does all that work?
All the above. So yeah, all kinds of different ways, right? So it could be that the family calls us, could be the guidance counselor knows a child or a family's in crisis. Teacher would refer directly. So it goes first to our guidance counselors. It then goes to our student family support specialists. And so if our student family support specialists can manage some of those issues with students, kind of stops there. If the student family support specialist knows that this child or this family needs something more intensive than what they're able to provide, then they will, the student families, we don't just call Guidestone or call, we wouldn't call Mindful LLC. We would, they would call the parent first to say, hey, here's what's, and again, a child going to even our student family support specialists, we get permission first. Guidance counselors, no. Right when it goes to student family support specialists, it's all the parental permission. So from that point on is we're involved directly. But Anna, I've been in expulsion hearings with families, and we know that there's a crisis, but we don't know it until it's at that point. That may be me saying at that point, like, what can we do to help you? And what we're finding in a lot of those situations, either they haven't had help, or they just can't find it, or they call someone and someone says, yeah, I can see you in 3 months. Some of our kids and our families don't have 3 months to wait. Lori, did I miss anything?
No, the only other thing is that service would be available to families in the summer, and that's not something that we offer from our school staff that would continue over the summer months.
So through Mindfully.
Correct.
Guidestone too?
Yes.
Yes. So what Ms. Sampson, I'm just saying it for that, what she just said is that, again, something that we couldn't provide, but that Mindfully and Guidestone can and will provide is that continued therapy and counseling over this summer.
What if a family doesn't have health insurance or Medicaid?
There would be a combination of, could be potentially Mindfully working with our student family support specialists and looking at community resources that can help them access things. They also talked about potential that there could be some small offering of something at no cost for a short period of time. They said they would work with us through different situations like that.
So that's our student family support specialist. It doesn't always go right to Guidestone. So it may be some kind of community partnership or community placement that they can, give the parent information to be able to reach out to. So Guidestone's in-house, Mindfully being in-house, but that's where our student family support specialists have that knowledge of any of the outside resources that the parents might be able to reach out to also. It's a lot.
Well, it's unfortunate that we, as a district, have to have these contracts, these memos of understanding, but
well,
I'm glad that it is a safety net for those that are truly in need.
It is our opportunity to find ways to help our families. And I was at a superintendent's meeting last week, and we were all having the same conversation. If I could find 10 more student family support specialists, and I had the money to do it, we don't have enough. And again, we just see more and more kids and more families who are dealing with trauma or who are just in crisis mode right now.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Now we have treasurer's update.
Okay, tonight I wanted to present to the board House Bill 1. House Bill 1 is the tax reform bill. House Bill 11 and Senate Bill 11 are the school voucher bills, just to be clear. House Bill 33 is the budget bill. So House Bill 1 is the tax reform bill. Basically what House Bill 1 does is they want to apply a single income tax rate of 2.75% to everybody. Flatten the income tax brackets down to 2.75%. As you can imagine, that means the state's going to lose money on income tax. This is, basic income tax. How they want to pay for that, though, is to eliminate the 10% property tax rollback that school districts and local governments receive. On every tax bill, on every taxpayer's home bill, you get the 35% assessed valuation, you get the 10%, and then you get the 2.5% in most situations. So they want to eliminate that 10% rollback. That credit, the state reimburses states and local governments for that. That is our property tax allocation line item on our forecast. The state reimburses us the 10% and the 2.5% rollbacks. They want to revise the 2.5% homestead rollback to be a flat $125 credit, which we'll lose money on that also. On a $100,000 home, we get about $875 if that credit applies, and they want to flatten it to $125. It also revised the homestead exemption program where certain people can apply to be exempt from paying any of this, and we do get reimbursed from the state of Ohio for that also. They haven't brought out any details on the revision to the homestead exemption program yet. I'm sure more to come. In order to make sure this isn't an automatic property tax increase to taxpayers, because it would be if we lose the 10% property tax rollback, they want to reduce the assessed valuation for Class 1 and Class 2 down to 31.5%, a 10% decrease. However, in the infinite wisdom of when this bill was introduced, they didn't think about House Bill 920. House Bill 920, we've talked about this a lot. Basically, we get what we got the first year the tax was passed. If our valuation goes up, millage goes down. We get what we got the first year. We don't grow with inflation. As valuation goes up, millage goes down. But with this reduction of assessed value, basically, our millage will go up. We'll see the increase because we have to get what we got the first year the tax was passed. So this will be an automatic tax increase on your property taxes. You might see a decrease on your income tax, but you will see an automatic increase on your property taxes. This is big. And me as a taxpayer, you all as a taxpayer should be saying, what's going on? House Bill 920 is a constitutional amendment. It would have to take a revision of the Constitution to get that out of there. And we've tried for years to get this out of there, and they have never considered it. When this bill was introduced, I don't think they thought about House Bill 920. We raised the questions, and our professional organizations raised the question, we as treasurers raised the question, and said, does this apply? In testimony last week, Barron, who introduced this, said House Bill 920 does apply. So make no mistake about it, it will be a property tax increase overnight to each and every one of us. The next slide that I have, we had simulations, this is kind of hard to read. If House Bill 920 applies, we still will see losses on our inside millage. Inside millage, we have 4.05 inside mills. That was divvied out to the school districts
when House Bill 920 went into effect. Each school district has inside millage. House Bill 920, and it basically, it grows. As valuation grows, we still get 4.5 mils. It's not ratcheted down. So we're gonna see a loss on our inside mills. This is just class one of almost $650,000. And I have, as the simulations keep coming out, I will get this to the board so it shows a cumulative effect. This is just 1 year. For commercial property, which is class two, rollback doesn't apply to it, the 10%, but if they take the assessed value down, the commercial property taxpayers are gonna see an increase also. They're gonna, because of the effective millage, because of 920. Statewide on this report, it's right at the bottom, it would cost the taxpayers in the state of Ohio an additional $638 million. Or I'm sorry, $1 billion. $638 billion it would cost the taxpayers in the state of Ohio. So while the concept is good to flatten the income tax and make Ohio more attractive to businesses, to people, House Bill 920 is in effect in this bill, so it would be an automatic property tax increase to every one of us. So I think we really need to look hard at House Bill 1 and you know, really talk to our legislatures and educate them on what this is going to do to each and every one of us.
What is the motive behind this? Like, what's their objective?
I believe the motive again is to flatten the income tax, to make Ohio more attractive. You know,
trying to offset that,
and then trying to offset it because they're going to lose revenue. Local governments are involved in this also. If the income tax goes down, that's what pays a lot of the local government funds.
And
your townships, your villages,
libraries.
Yeah, your libraries, yes. Even your cities, parks, all that. When they did away with our tangible personal property back in like 2010, that was a tax on businesses. That was a tax on inventory. Basically, they did away with that. It was, you know, they phased it out. And that was taken away also to make Ohio more attractive. I would love to see the data on that. Yes, we have Intel now, but that was 12 years later that Intel came to Ohio when the TPP was already phased out. So that was, at that time, $11 million to this district, losing that commercial tax, that inventory tax. So making Ohio more attractive, flattening the income tax. I mean, it's been likened to, we're not Florida, we're not Nevada, we're not a destination where we have tourism. I've heard that spoken a lot by inner circles of treasurers. So I think, again, this legislation was proposed as from another state. And again, not realizing that Ohio is unique and Ohio has House Bill 920 in effect. And as valuation goes down, millage goes up. We saw that in the recession. As valuation goes up, millage goes down. We get what we got the first year it was passed. We can't grow and we can't see less. This will also affect our bond because the county auditor is charged to collect our debt payment. So if assessed valuation goes down, that millage is going to go up a little bit. So across the board, if districts have emergency levies, they're fixed dollar levies, they have to collect a certain dollar amount, that millage will be adjusted. So it's all effective House Bill 920. It's a constitutional amendment. So I want to make everybody aware of this. I would ask the board if you know, our professional organizations are reaching out, our professional organizations are gathering testimony. Testimony, I think, is happening this week. It started 2 weeks ago and then it was postponed last week. But again, House Bill 1 is going to be very detrimental to a lot of school districts and a lot of the local governments. So that is my update.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Jill. And I hope our taxpayers are a little more educated, that people understand a little bit more about the impact of what this particular bill can do to our tax situation. Okay, consent agenda. It's recommended that items F3 through F7 be approved as part of the consent agenda unless a board member wishes to have an item removed.
So moved.
Second.
All routine items on the agenda tonight, sorry. If you look at the appropriation amendment, we did get round 4, I think, of the safety grants. So each building now has $100,000. Originally, the middle school got 50, then the other buildings got 100, and now they reallocated, so they gave the middle school another 50. So each building has $100,000 for safety. Mr. Draves is currently working on that and getting that all put in place. It's great to have grants, but sometimes, you know, it takes a lot of work to get everything in place and get it done. So he's working diligently on getting that done. So.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes. Item 8, approval of gifts and donations. It's therefore be it resolved that the board hereby declares acceptance of the gifts listed below.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Abstain?
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Abstain.
Okay, on to regular business. Approval of the minutes. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the minutes from February 13, the IDEA hearing, as well as the regular business, and the February 27th special meeting as shown in the exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Any changes, notes? I would ask that on the regular meeting of the 13th, that under committee reports or committee updates, that it be noted that it's Doug Schwind who gave us the Polaris update as Mr. Postal was absent. Other than that, okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Zerke?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mrs. Ferris?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Postal?
Yes.
And the legislative update, always a big one.
Like Jill mentioned, there are hearings this week. House Bill 1 is tomorrow at 2:30. That's in the House Ways and Means Committee. And House Bill 11 is tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and that's the House Primary and Secondary Education Committee. And House Bill 11 is the one that creates a universal voucher program by providing K-12 students with an annual education savings account to attend non-public schools. There's also a Senate Bill 11. They kind of have two different versions, so where they'll end up, nobody knows. That's it.
Board of Education committee reports or comments. We'll kind of throw those two together. Okay, Mr. Postal.
From Polaris, they're developing key initiatives coming up this month in May. The first one is March 21st and 28th for students that are juniors and seniors at Polaris. We're going to introduce the students to employees and companies about potential summer internships and then senior placement. May 3rd, there's a Senior Connections. They're working with non-Polaris seniors who lack post-graduation plans, either college or career plan already. They're going to, with the associate schools of Berea, Strongsville, et cetera, they're going to do individual career interest surveys, and then on May 3rd, have the students visit, tour Polaris, talk about the adult education job training programs, and also have a job fair for possible employment opportunities locally. Then on May 15th and 16th, there's going to be a family career night at the Berea Fairgrounds, and it's a career exploration, and it's targeted for 5th and 6th graders, and it's for the six districts in the Polaris area, and they anticipate a potential 3,000 students just starting to look at different opportunities for careers and hopefully planning. But as with most even kids who go to college, careers change often and plans change. But it's good to get a couple ideas, a couple concepts out even at that age, just to start the process. That's the end of the report.
Okay, I did a couple of bingo extravaganzas this weekend. Friday night, I ran into Anna too at the Grindstone bingo night, which was outrageously well attended. There were just wall-to-wall families and children, and it obviously is a a blast for their community to get out and have a good time as families. And on Saturday, we did bingo. We were guest callers at bingo at the middle school, which was really fun. That was their second year doing it. And there was a much smaller group, but these people were very serious. They were very hardcore. They, the room would go silent when it was getting close to a bingo being called. So it was a lot of fun. All right. Okay, on to non-agenda items of public participation. Again, I'm going to remind you that you want to give your name and city of residence, and you've got 3 minutes, and we ask that you be respectful and be nice. The first